For today's video, we'll be taking a look at a mainstream productivity-oriented mini PC by ASUS, the ExpertCenter PN54-S1. Powered by AMD's Hawk Point Ryzen 200 series of mobile processors, the PN54-S1 can be considered a more mainstream variant of the PN54 that I reviewed a couple of weeks back. Let's unbox it and put it through some benchmarks so as to see if it's any good. Given that this is a product targeted primarily at business and commercial applications, the PN54-S1 comes with a run-of-the-mill appearance for the packaging that's very similar to the packaging of the original PN54, where it features a black and grey colorway. Here's a quick look at the specs of the ExpertCenter PN54-S1 review unit that I was sent for this video. It's worth mentioning that the PN54-S1 does ship with other lower-end processors such as the Ryzen 3 210 quad-core mobile processor, as well as the Ryzen 5 220 6-core processor. The review sample that I have here is the highest-end offering in the PN54-S1 lineup, where it comes equipped with an AMD Ryzen 7 260 mobile processor, which is an 8-core part with multi-threading, where we get 8 Zen 4 cores that have a max boost clock of up to 5.1 GHz. The processor also comes with integrated graphics, that is, AMD's Radeon 780M that features 12 CUs and is built on the RDNA 3 architecture. The PC also comes with a single 32GB stick of Samsung DDR5 5600 SO-DIMM RAM, and storage-wise, the ExpertCenter PN54-S1 has a WD-SM5000S 512GB SSD pre-installed. Audio is powered by a Realtek ALC3251 audio codec, while for your internet connectivity needs, we've got a MediaTek MT7925B22M Wi-Fi 7 module that supports up to the 160MHz channel width and comes with built-in Bluetooth 5.4 support, as well as dual 2.5GB Ethernet ports powered by Realtek's RTL8125BG controller. We do also get the following I/O ports with the ExpertCenter PN54-S1. I'll run through this mini PC's connectivity in detail later on in this video. And with that, let's take a look at the contents of the box. As can be seen, we get a 120W power brick with corresponding power cable, as well as a VESA mounting kit comprising of a VESA mounting bracket that is to be secured to the rear of your monitor and 2 packs of screws. Do note that not all PN54-S1s come shipped with the VESA mounting bracket as standard. We also get a user manual and a warranty card to go along with the mini PC. Taking a closer look at the ExpertCenter PN54-S1, it has a pretty compact footprint with the dimensions that you can see on the screen. As far as I can tell, it uses pretty much exactly the same chassis as the PN54 that I reviewed a couple of weeks back. It has an exterior chassis that's constructed entirely of plastic with a matte finish for the top panel like so, as well as for the bottom panel. And we do also get vertical stripes in a glossy finish that wrap around the short edge of the mini PC for added visual interest. On the front panel, we get a power button, front panel connectors, as well as an ASUS logo. Over on the left side of the mini PC, we get ventilation openings, and the same goes for the right side, where we do get a Kensington lock slot in the bottom right hand corner. The top panel of the ExpertCenter PN54-S1 has a fingerprint sensor, and over on the bottom of the mini PC, we get no shortage of little square ventilation openings and 4 round rubber feet. Also visible are the two screw holes that are to be used for VESA mounting purposes, and a latch and lock mechanism that are used for service access purposes. In terms of front I/O, we get a power button, a 3.5mm audio combo jack, two USB 10Gbps Type A ports, as well as a USB 10Gbps Type C port. As for the rear I/O, the ExpertCenter PN54 comes with a USB 4 Type C port that supports DisplayPort video output as well as power delivery. We do also get two DisplayPort 1.4 ports, dual 2.5GB Ethernet ports, a USB 2.0 Type A port, a USB 10Gbps Type A port, a HDMI 2.1 port, as well as a port for the mini PC's power adapter. In case you're wondering, the PN54-S1 does support up to 4 simultaneous 4K displays, as per the screenshot on the screen that I've lifted from ASUS's website. For service access, the PN54-S1 features a chassis with a toolless design, where gaining access to the motherboard involves undoing the bottom lock cover like so, and thereafter sliding the spring-loaded release button to the left so as to unlatch the bottom cover, where you can then lift it away from the chassis easily. And with that, here's the motherboard of the ExpertCenter PN54-S1 in full view. First up, we've got the two DDR5 SODIMM slots that the mini PC comes with right here, where one of them is pre-populated with a Samsung 32GB DDR5 5600 SODIMM module. I do wish that the PC had come shipped with dual 16GB sticks of RAM instead for a dual channel configuration, as running the PC in single channel mode does leave some performance on the table. That said, the memory slots have a rectangular shroud of some sort. I can't quite tell what material it's made of, but I'm guessing it's probably used as a heatsink of sorts. Next to the RAM slots, we can see the two PCIe 4.0x4 M.2 slots that the mini PC comes with, of which this slot here is populated by the pre-installed WD-SN5000S 512GB NVMe SSD that comes with the PN54-S1 as standard. According to WD's spec sheet, the SN5000S has sequential read speeds of up to 6000 MB per second, sequential write speeds of up to 4200 MB per second, and it utilizes QLC NAND flash. The other M.2 slot, which is a PCIe 4.0x4 slot, is empty and available for you to install a second drive where needed. It's worth noting that we do get two thermal pads for the M.2 slots on the lid of the PN54-S1 like so, which is great. Removing and replacing the pre-installed drives pretty straightforward. All you've got to do is to undo the retention latch like so, and this releases the M.2 drive from the slot. Reinstalling the drive's pretty easy too. Just insert it back into the slot and thereafter push down on the retention latch. While we're still on the topic of M.2 slots, the MediaTek MT7925B22M Wi-Fi 7 module can be found right next to the RAM slots, where it utilizes the M.2 Key E form factor. This means that in future, you can easily swap out the module for something newer, say a Wi-Fi 8 module when they're finally released. With that out of the way, here's a recap on the specs of the ExpertCenter PN54-S1, where it's pretty much a PC that's ready to go out of the box with Windows 11 Pro pre-installed. In terms of power profile, over in the BIOS, we can see that the PN54 comes with a default balanced enabled power mode that can't be tweaked, and for fan control modes, we've got 3 to choose from: Whisper, Standard, and Performance. For the purposes of testing the PN54-S1, I'll be using the stock Standard fan control mode. To put the mini PC through its paces, I'll first be running 7-zips compression and decompression test, Cinebench 2024, Cinebench R23, and Geekbench 6.5 so as to test the productivity performance of the Ryzen 7 260 processor. I'll also be running Geekbench AI so as to get a sensing on the processor's AI chops, and thereafter CrystalDiskMark so as to check on the performance of the included WD-SN5000S M.2 SSD. Finally, to get a very quick sensing on gaming performance, I'll be running the in-game benchmark tests of Cyberpunk 2077 and F1 23 at 1080p. Let's get started. Next up, let's take a look at thermals and power draw. The following results were obtained via Hardware Info 64's sensor readout while running F123's in-game benchmark for around 9 minutes in a non-air conditioned room with an ambient temperature of 29.6 degrees Celsius. As can be seen from the results on the screen, the Ryzen 7 260 processor achieved an average CPU temperature of 80.1 degrees Celsius, where it hit a maximum temperature of 86 degrees Celsius during benchmarking. CPU package power draw was around 46.9 watts during the benchmark, with a maximum power draw of 56 watts. While running Cinebench 2024's multi-core test, the Ryzen 7 260 processor achieved an average CPU temperature of 96.9 degrees Celsius, where it hit a maximum temperature of 100.4 degrees Celsius during benchmarking. CPU package power draw was around 49.3 watts during the benchmark, with a maximum power draw of 64.6 watts. The idle thermal and power draw figures are as per what you see on the screen. The Ryzen 7 260 had an average idle temperature of 55.7 degrees Celsius, while drawing an average of 4.2 watts of power. A brief note on acoustics, the ExpertCenter PN54-S1 was audible under load, but not annoyingly so in my opinion. In a room with around 46.5 decibels of ambient noise levels, my decibel meter recorded 46.7 decibels of noise when the PN54-S1 was idle, and 49.2 decibels of noise when under a typical gaming workload, that is F123's in-game benchmark. Moving on, let's talk about all things audio with the PN54-S1. The performance of the built-in mono speaker is unremarkable and the sound quality is just simply passable at best, which is unsurprising. The built-in microphone works just fine too, where in terms of audio quality, I've actually recorded this segment on audio performance using the inbuilt microphone of the PN54-S1, so you can be the judge of its audio fidelity. To sum up, the ASUS ExpertCenter PN54-S1 is clearly targeted at the business productivity crowd, where it do just fine as an office workstation with support for up to 4 concurrent 4K displays. Alternatively, you could use it as a mini home theater PC. While you might get away with very light gaming at 1080p on low to medium settings with older game titles, don't expect too much performance out of the integrated Radeon 780M iGPU, which clearly wasn't designed with gaming in mind. Thermal performance is average at best, where the Ryzen 7 260 processor didn't break 100 degrees Celsius when under a gaming workload, though it did go beyond 100 degrees Celsius at times when running Cinebench 2024's multi-core test, which isn't all that surprising seeing as the multi-core test is after all a pretty intensive workload. That said, I do wish that ASUS had shipped the PN54-S1 with dual channel memory, that is, 2 16GB sticks of RAM rather than just a single stick of 32GB of RAM, as running memory in single channel mode does leave performance on the table, which is less than ideal. In terms of pricing and availability, I don't yet have any pricing and availability information on hand, but hopefully the PN54-S1 should go on sale in the next couple of weeks or months. With that, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys around the next time.